We've got a top line, 'cause we've got a band, and we've got Topline Hotline in the band.
In the back.
Welcome to Topline Hotline in your face. We're playing saxophones and skyscrapers
Ooh.
all over the place, where we answer your questions about go to market. Now I'm going from a fish thing to like just like a folk.
You know why I
Folk.
love you? You take the hard route. Like there was an end point there, but you knew it would be cool to take it the other place. You're like, I'm gonna go for it. That's how you do great things in life.
One of my favorite
I
things
think
is
it's
to make people
interesting.
uncomfortable, So
We
And
get
saying
so
in your
much.
face.
We
In your
we get
face
so
is your
much.
favorite thing.
We get so much great feedback on Topline, and I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone talk about Sam's ditties. So if you love
All the
Sam's ditties out
time.
there,
I get it all the time. Like
all the
to a
time,
point where I'm
Really?
like, do you like the substance of our podcast other than his singing? They're like, yeah, not bad. That's okay.
if you're out
All right.
there
Well,
and you want
thank
to
you
double
for the
down on
positive
that, let
feedback.
us know.
AJ's feedback wasn't quite positive, a little passive aggressive. So he's a little tired of it, and I understand.
Eat some
I
food,
do get
AJ.
it.
Eat some food.
I won't do
You'll
it
feel
next
better.
week. This is
No,
Topline
no, that's
Hotline where we
perfect.
answer.
No. This has to
Sam,
be
I
the
took over. I
right.
took over the 1 week you didn't do it, and I thought I did okay.
I thought you did a great job.
I did all
thought you
right.
did a great job.
All right,
We're answering
Okay.
questions from the go-to-market community and from the Topline Slack channel from our community. Asit, over to you, sir.
This one's a fun one. So, I'm a non-technical founder looking to raise a seed round for my startup. I don't have a great network of investors and executives to drive warm intros. I'm also struggling to figure out if I should sell the biggest vision with AI all over it, or the business I really want to build that's a bit of a smaller business where AI is just not the main character. Any advice on how do I build a pipeline of VCs to talk to, and how I should think about positioning this business?
That was like 4 questions wrapped up into one, by the way. I was like, oh,
I
you
love
want to
that
know how to
the
find a
end- the
technical
end of it-
co-founder. Oh,
The end of it's like, which VC should I talk to? But by the way, I'm not sure I want to build a venture scale business. It's like, well, then maybe don't
Well,
raise venture.
it's a fair concern. I think let's take the smaller out of the equation, right? I think what that person means by saying that is that AI seems to be this, like, everything has to be this big AI business, and anything that's not AI seems smaller. It seems like you're compromising on what you can build because investors just want to deploy into AI companies. This is a legitimate challenge for seed round companies today. If you're not AI first, it's hard to raise. But let's tackle it one at a time. What about the intros? AJ, you've raised multiple rounds of funding. How does this person get in front of VC?
Are they trying to find a technical co-founder or VC?
They have a technical co-founder.
Okay. All right. Well, go meet the VCs where they are. I think rather than forget about like just cold emailing them or reaching out or whatever, go to their events. If you live in a city, in a metro, go find the top ones and find if they're having any events and go talk to them. You're going to talk to associates. You're going to talk to operating partners, not the main partners that will be doing investing, but just like talk to them and have a conversation. Treat it as, when you go to, you don't want to like do something official and you go have a consult. You guys probably don't have this. Okay, let me take a step back.
What do you
If
mean?
you have if you have a
time.
situation, yeah. But if you're not familiar with the landscape or with the environment, then you're not going to be able to like talk in a way that is going to connect really well, and you're going to look a little like strange and funny. So I would go meet VCs and founders at the event. Go meet the founders of those portfolio companies of the funds that you're like thinking about, and talk to those founders of like, how did you get started? I'm sure they were first time founders, or good chances they were, and they'll have good feedback. So I wouldn't actually start with the VCs. I would start with founders that have raised from the VCs.
You mentioned levels for a second. Do you know what's the hierarchy? Like, if I need to raise money, what role does the analyst versus the principal versus the partner play?
Think about it like a go-to-market funnel, which is SDR, BDR versus AE versus VP. And like, it's the same type of sales cycle. It's literally the same type of sales cycle. So the BDR, if you're talking to like Insight, has dozens upon dozens of analysts that goal is to map all of the ecosystems, which is a brilliant move. But if you're talking to one of them, you're not pitching them on like you're trying to raise capital in that moment in time. You're trying to understand if they even have an interest in your industry. It's less about your company and more about like the thesis of
This is
that
just like sales.
ecosystem.
This is
It's sales.
bottom up instead of top down.
Yeah, it's just sales. I mean, at the end of the day, a deal's a deal, right? So
I personally think the cold emailing works really well. Like I think if a well-designed, well-crafted cold email gets responses from people like Keith Raboy, Mark Cuban,
you're wasting their time and your time if you're that early into the VC game and you don't know what you're doing. You don't have enough reps and practice
you're
at
you're
bats.
you're conflating network with understanding of the game. Those are two different things.
Well, this person said that they were like early in their founder
This
VC and they don't know VCs that well.
They don't know the VCs. That doesn't mean they don't understand what a seed round versus a Series A versus how VCs work is.
Sure,
That's just a
but put
Google
yourself in
search.
this person's shoes and like rewind the clock 10, 15 years that you don't even might not even know who Keith Raboy is and what he does. Like that's what I'm saying is that this person is starting at ground zero. And if you're starting at ground zero, read Venture Deals by Brad Feld, read Founder's Dilemma, like read books that are just going to get you into the mindset of all of these founders. Founders at Work is another great one. Just get your mindset into it before you jump into like the I need to start pitching. That's my point.
Yeah. Sam, what are your thoughts on this? You look perplexed.
Well, I've
Just
I mean, I guess I heard there's a couple things in there. I'm serious about. Well, they had one question: should I pitch the business I want to build, or should I pitch some
Yes.
AI spin on the business? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too naive, but I think you should pitch the business you want to build. I don't think faking AI as a means of I just think there's lots more types of investors and way more people with money than just VCs. And so part of the reason I look perplexed is because I'm trying to empathize with this person. And what I'm hearing, again, they're saying like, so first of all, they're saying which business should I pitch, which tells me that maybe there's a lack of clarity on what their business is. But let's assume that there's not. They know exactly what it is. They know exactly what they're trying to do. It's just a positioning issue. Then the second thing I'm hearing is almost like making an excuse for like setting up a pretense for not building their business, which is like there's just way more types of capital out there than venture capital, and there's friends and family. Like there's lots of people with money, and if you truly are passionate about what you're doing, I don't think you need to ask permission. And I think that's a big test for a lot of investors is why are you asking for permission to? It's like, well, unless somebody tells me how I approach VCs, I can't start my company. It's like, of course you can start your company. You can start your company anytime you want. Why don't you just start doing whatever it is that you're doing, either in your spare time or start building right away? Start talking to other people about whether they will invest. There's family offices. There's high net worth individuals. There's your rich uncle. Like get $200,000. And maybe this person comes from a working class background and they don't have a rich uncle. I get that, but I'm saying there's something in them that wants to go to somewhere else and knock on a select number of doors. And the point is, if you really believe in it, you're probably going to have to ask a lot of people. You're going to have to put yourself in an uncomfortable position and not just be anointed a startup founder by some third-party VC. You are a founder. So go found.
I think that point.
I just heard that in the question, this defensiveness of like, well, if Topline doesn't answer my question, then I guess I can't start my company.
That's true. Actually, you should take that take that.
To empathize with these founders, I think what does happen is you go and you believe that there's limited understanding. You don't know the whole landscape and you don't know that there are all these other ways to do it. You know a little bit. And the little bit that you know is I need to go and get some starting capital to start this business. And there are these people called VCs that give me the starting capital. And you pitch and you pitch and you keep getting no's. And the reason you're getting no's is because, you're not an AI company. We're only looking at AI investments, right? I can see how a person gets into this mode where they're like, this seems to be the only way to start. And this is the main thing that they're looking for. This is really depressing. I think one of the things that I enjoy about this podcast is that we're highlighting the fact that there are many different ways to solve this problem, that there are different sources of starting capital, there are different types of businesses. The VC doesn't get to tell you that you have a business or not. They just get to tell you if you have a venture fundable business or not.
That's right.
And maybe you're not building a venture scale business, and that's okay. You can go and figure out. But even to that, it's really hard to bootstrap. It really is. Like Adam was like, I had $1 million. And it's like, most people don't have $1 million to start a business. And so it's really tricky and hard. And so I feel for these people that are in this market trying to get.
I feel for them too. Just to be clear, I feel for them too. It is really hard. But I think, so that's true. And also sometimes people, they have this romantic notion of I should be a founder. And they kind of work backwards from that idea. Not, I have a problem. I see a problem in the world and I'm desperate to solve it and I want to solve it no matter what. It is, I should be a founder and this is how I'm told founders go about their business, and isn't that romantic? And then they get really frustrated when they start doing it and it kind of sucks and nobody's celebrating them and it's taking way longer. And the truth is that, you know, founding a business, AJ's been doing this, 6 years, Quotapath, right?
Yeah, 6 years. We just celebrated our 6th birthday.
I mean, and if Quotapath is going to be truly successful, I'm not saying they're not, I'm just saying truly successful, there's at least 4 or 5, if it's going to be an independent company, 5 more years. He's going to have done this. I've been working on Pavilion for 5.5 years full time, and I've been working on it total for 10 years. And I'm still 3 to 4 years away from some kind of meaningful outcome should I wish to pursue it. And if you had told me it would take this long, yeah, I'd be fine with it because I really like what I do, you know, and because
you have to love that thing, not the role. Like the role itself, most of the roles that, because of the pull of the role that you land up in, you realize are pretty annoying roles, right? Like being a CEO for the sake of being a CEO is not fun. Being a CEO solving the problem in the business that you want to solve that problem in, that's really fun. That's the most fun thing in the world.
Well, Sam, according to PitchBook, I have a 90% chance to be successful as a successful outcome.
No,
I'm fine.
I said you already are successful. I'm saying if you're going to pursue a path to 100 million on your own independently, I would imagine that there might be a strategic company that inserts themselves beforehand and snaps you up, and that's awesome. But if you were going to try to get to 100 million, it would be a long way from here, just like it would be a long way for STA or Pavilion.
There's a 10-year, 100% agree with you. And I think that if we had had that conversation 2 years ago, I would disagree with you, would have disagreed with you, but I do not today.
Well, 2 years ago, you would have been in Zerpland. Everyone was going to make.
That's when he was raising all this money. He's got this big balance sheet, baby.
Well, they were doing the sniff test before giving money. Here you go.
He's only giving me this much of it through Quota, but this much is still infinitely more than STA is giving me.
We're building a massive. We're building a massive media conglomerate, bigger than Condé Nast. That's what we're doing here.
We are building.
I still am not an advisor at Quotapath. I take that very seriously. I'm just waiting for the day it's going to turn out.
I'd like you to sponsor something. I said, give me some of that profit. Give me some of that.
Well, I have a board meeting tomorrow. Maybe I'll just put that into the.
Just sponsor something. Do something.
Give me some
I don't care what you.
I want some money. Let me hold some. The last story before we go. I was on my way to the marathon. I think it was 10 years ago. Wow, it was 2014. And I got in an Uber and he was taking me to Staten Island Ferry for my first New York City marathon. And the guy was talking about how he went back home and everywhere he goes, he's like, everywhere I go, people are saying, let me hold something. Let me hold something. I was like, what does that mean? Let me hold something. He said, it means give me some money. And I just love that phrase. Let me hold something. It just means give me some. You give me some. Why? Because I asked. That's why. Give me some money, please. I said, please.
If you don't ask, you don't get in life.
Let me hold something.
Let me hold something. It's so good. Oh my God. Just walk up to me. Can I hold something?
Yeah, give me some. Okay. Why? Because I want some. That's why. Because I like money and you have too much of it.
I'm talking about money. Like, why are you being awkward about this? Okay, on that note. That's the episode.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening to Topline Hotline. Give us 5 stars in the iTunes store. Join our Slack channel, which is free. You don't have to be a Pavilion member. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.